Hi, I'm Todd Sommers. I'm from Whitesboro, Texas, and we're going to talk to you today about going around the ends and keeping your horse from getting too chargy, getting too strong, and how to get that horse to rate around the end of the pen. I'm riding a 3-year-old today. That's one of my 3-year-olds for the fraternity. He's a Inferno out of a whiz mare named Gunna Woe. One thing that's really important when you're going around the ends is the horse's speed control, how they gradually build speed to that stop. And horses will want to get a little too chargy after they've been shown for a while. One of the most important things I do is whether I'm running circles or I'm running around the ends, is hand position and body position. Okay, if I'm going slow, my hand's here, I'm sitting back. If I want to increase the speed, I raise my hand forward and I squeeze a little bit with my legs. The farther I go with my hand, the faster I go. When I want to slow back down, I drop my hand back down and I sit back. In the circles, I'll sit forward a little bit, just lean forward a little bit. But when I'm running to my stops, the faster I go, the farther I want to sit deep in the saddle to be ready for that stop. But I still use my hand position and my legs the same as if I'm running in a circle. So we're going to lope off here and we're going to go around the ends, and I'm going to show you how I work that speed control and then what I do if they get too chargy. You always want to start out just loping slow and letting that horse know what you're trying to do. I try to square off these corners and make it a little more abrupt when I turn. I turn, I get straight, and then I'm lined up for that stop. If you let that horse round around the end too much, then they'll want to veer out, or they'll think they're circling instead of running for the stop. So I turn this corner sharply, get straight, and then if I want to build speed, I gradually raise my hand forward, sit back and drive, and then I'll just slow down at the end of the pen. Turn that corner, leave my hand down to see if they want to get chargy or not. If I go, 1 time or 2 times fast around that end, then I want to sit down and just wait for them and see if they get chargy. So I turn this corner, get straight, and then gradually build. If they come out of frame or get too chargy, I'll take a hold of them, straighten them back up, get that head back down where it's supposed to be, do it again. Gradually build. If they come out of frame, take a hold of them. If they get too chargy, they get to going from first gear to 4th gear, I want them to gradually go 1st gear, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, 4th gear, gradually build all the way down that pen. If they start jumping gears and getting too fast, I'll take a hold of them. If they don't slow down, I don't like pulling them in the ground and backing them up, because those horses will get to where they wait for you. Like those older horses especially that get too chargy, if you go to pull them in the ground, they'll wait for you to pick up your hand, and then the minute you release your hand, they'll want to take off again. So what I've found that works good on the older horses that want to get chargy is, no matter whether it's right here, halfway down, 3/4 of the way down, If they get too chargy and I take a hold and they don't come back to me, I'll steer them in a little tight circle to the inside. And I keep steering them in that circle to the inside, say 2 or 3 or 4 circles till they get soft and they give that face and they go slow. And then I'll go around that other end again, ask them to build. If they get too chargy, I'll take a hold. If they don't slow down, I steer them in a little tight circle to the inside, and it makes those horses work hard. You know, they think, well, every time I try to take off, he makes me work really hard in a little bitty tight circle. So they get to where they don't want to take off because it's too much work. But if you just pull them in the ground when they take off, they're just waiting for you to pull them in the ground. You know, you can't associate that to showing with associated to showing. You want to be able to just raise your hand a little bit and have those horses come back and not get chargy. So if I raise my hand, they come back, then I'll just go on a little slow to the other end. If I raise my hand and they still try to take off, then I'll steer them in a little tight circle to the inside. And it works really good the bigger the pin, like more out on the track to work on that speed control around the ends. I'll speed up and slow down and speed up and slow down. Like this time I'll go around the end and I'll show you how I start to speed up and then I'll slow back down, then I'll speed up. Turn and get straight. I started building some speed. And then I'll just sit down and slow him back down. If he does that good, I'll lope down to the other end. If you've got enough room to go ahead and speed back up again, then do that. You know, it just makes that horse wait on you to tell him what to do. I'll gradually build. And then I'll slow back down. He responded well to me. Like I say, if he doesn't respond, I'm going around that end, I start to speed up and he wants to take off, I'll take a hold and he doesn't slow down, I'll steer him in a little bitty tight circle. Really make him work and give that face and get to that little tight circle. And then put your hand back down, let him lope slow to the other end. When you get around the other end, ask him again, ask him to gradually build. If he takes off anywhere in there, pick up your hand, take a hold. If he doesn't, and it doesn't matter whether you're 3/4 of the way down the pin, I'll steer him in that little tight circle. And this is a 3-year-old, so he's not going to want to try to take off as much as an older horse. And then I'll just sit down and let him relax and break to a walk at the end of that pen. You know, a lot of it's working on those things at home and getting that consistent in their head that this is gradually build, not take off and not run. You know, those horses that have been shown a lot, those people go around the end to show them and they take off and they run. Well, they don't practice it at home and make those horses learn what rating is and what gradually building speed is to that stop. But it works the same way the other way. If you're going the other way, the other direction, you're going around to the right, you want to always steer to the inside, because you'll notice horses, when you've showed them a lot, you'll stop and you roll back to the outside. So those horses will want to drift most of the time, older horses, to the outside of that rundown. So I always steer them to the inside so they're thinking about staying straight and not drifting to that outside. And I'll practice, like when I go around the ends, I'll practice rolling back both ways. You know, I'll go down, I'll go all the way to the fence, I'll stop, I'll roll back to the inside. Then I'll break them to a walk, take the other lead, or I'll change leads, go around the other way. If they're thinking about drifting out a little bit, when I stop them, I roll them back to the inside, not the outside, to where they're listening to you and you're telling them what to do all the time, instead of thinking ahead and thinking about what what they want to do on their own. A horse, they don't try to cheat you. They've figured out that they're trying to do exactly what you want. So you've gone around the ends and showed them a bunch, and you've run to those stops. Well, they're anticipating and they're trying to do what you're wanting them to do. So they're not trying to be bad. They're anticipating and trying to figure out, okay, I know when I go around the end here, she's going to run and stop, so I'm going to run to that stop. So you have to get those horses to wait on you to tell them what to do. And by doing that, you have to school them at home and work on those maneuvers and get them solid in that horse's brain where they do it. If they are good at home, but they do it at a show pen, then you need to go school horses at a show or rent a pen somewhere and school them and try to put them in that atmosphere of showing to where they only mess up when you're showing, and do the same thing I was doing there when you're schooling them.
Amanda, it's a pleasure to be here tonight representing Markel. I am Frank Costantini, the Director of Western Disciplines. Along with a team of specialists, we offer the various products that Markel offers to the equine industry, primarily of the Western Disciplines. Markel, as you might know, is a specialty lines insurance company with the primary home office in Richmond, Virginia. We provide coverage for almost all the equine entities that participate in the ongoings of the horse world today. We've had the good fortune of being able to offer farm and ranch coverage, care, custody, and control, commercial auto, commercial horse trainers liability, professional horse trainers liability, and by and large mortality coverage for our equine investments. We've been affiliated with the NRHA for 20 plus years now, and hopefully we'll be in business and affiliated with the NRHA and in the Western horse world for another 20 years. Along with that, it's an honor and a privilege to be interviewed by Worldwide Slide, Virtual Horse Help. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful meeting of the minds and the coming together. And speaking for Markel, we are looking forward to working with you, with Cheryl, with Tommy, and all the entities involved.